Welcome to the Fuse 2017 APRO's National Convention and Trade Show. I hope you guys are enjoying Galveston. It's a beautiful, beautiful area and great place, and I think it's going to end up being Bill's retirement home too, so which is really cool. I want to thank our general sponsors today, Rent-A-Center Franchising. They sponsored our breakfast. Thank you, Rent-A-Center Franchising. Our general session is going to be sponsored by Coaster Furniture. Thank you, Coaster. I encourage all you dealers to thank all of our sponsors, including last night's sponsor, Nationwide, and today's sponsors and tomorrow's sponsors. So really want you guys to do that. You know, I was just talking to Lynn Leach out there this morning, and I was talking to him how the hot show last night was just, I'm always a fan of Lynn when he gets up there and he does his spiel, I guess, is what I guess it's you know, I stand in the back, I cross my arms, and I'm always watching him. It's just amazing what he does, and so he was kind of telling me the numbers last night, so these are some of the numbers, and Dennis kind of confirmed this. So the hot show last night, number one, I think the most important part, I think it was the busiest I've ever seen a hot show since I've been coming to APRO, so congratulations on that. But they did a little north of 3.5 million in sales from that show. That's over $1 million from a previous record that APRO's done at a hot show. So thank you guys. Lynn, stand up. Seriously, you're amazing. He's totally amazing. It's just fun. So, Trent, you're up next, and Trent's going to talk about the public relations chair.
Good morning. Customer relationships are the very essence of this business. In every store throughout the country, there are hundreds of stories to tell. So this year we ask APRO members to send us those unique and special stories to find out APRO's Customer of the Year. We ask managers and owners to keep it simple and short, but enough to give us a flavor of the relationship between the customers and the employees and the unique personalities of each. Amongst the many, I'd like to share with you runner-ups and the winner of this year's Customer of the Year, and I'm only sharing a small portion of the entries that we had. First runner-up is Donna Mathis, nominated by Matt Reed from Action Development Corporation in Decatur, Illinois. She has been a customer for 17 years. That RTO store has now furnished the homes of 3 generations of her family. Next runner-up is Patrick Fielder, nominated by Bobby Alanis from Aarons and Adrian, Michigan. He is a Marine serving since the Cold War, has received letters of recognition from the Secretary of State, and has been awarded the Congressional Order of Merit and American Defense Ribbon. He also likes to bring the staff lunch. In his words, just because. Third runner-up is Roger and Carla Smith, nominated by Keith Brock from Rent-A-Center in Dundalk, Michigan. Roger and Carla have been customers for 20 years. Carla now owns her own business, and she was able to start by renting to own her first computer and printers while also starting her family. She attributes her business and family success to the help she's received from the rent-to-own store. Fourth runner-up is Julia Robinson, nominated by Donna Treboni from Rent-to-Own in Waverly, Ohio. Julia started as a rent-to-own customer in 1997 as a single mother with no beds for her children. Now Rent-to-Own has furnished her entire house. She considers her Rent-to-Own store her second home and the staff like family. And our winner is Antonia Gandera, nominated by Kat Vigil of Arona Group in Commerce City, Colorado. This is a special moment when the customers stepped up to help the employee. Arona employee Kat, her aunt passed away. Kat was the main caretaker and wanted to honor her with a proper burial service, but she didn't have the money. Her customer, Antonia, overheard the conversation and helped organize the services with the help of Antonia's pastor, their church providing Kat's aunt and her entire family a proper memorial service. We would like to recognize Antonia as APRO's Customer of the Year. She and Kat both received a $100 each gift card for representing with a special relationship to rent-to-own employees and create with our customers. So thank you all for your submissions. We appreciate it very much.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Matt Grinwald. I'm the Assistant General Counsel at Rent-A-Center, serve on your Board of Directors, and chair our APRO Government Relations Committee. Hallmark of a great speech, right? Be sincere, be brief, and be seated. They've given me 5 minutes. I'm going to try to make that work for us. Briefly, just to tell you sort of what the Government Relations Committee does and how APRO monitors our government relations situation. We basically are a watchdog that plays defense 99% of the time. Every now and then we have the opportunity to play a little bit of offense, and we had a couple of those this year. We keep looking for those when they arise. Starts with your APRO staff. You all know Richard. Those of us that have to deal with the government relations, they have a state monitoring service, put out keywords out there: rent, consumer, lease, rent to own, bed bugs, bedding, all those things. Cast a pretty wide net for all of the bills that get introduced. Anywhere between 30 and 100 a day can come in. Richard gets the privilege of reading through those, so if you have a chance to thank him for taking that thankless and not very pleasant task, you should do so. He watches those, filters them down. If it's important, if it's directly impacting rent to own, he'll then circulate it to Aaron's and Rent-A-Center. We'll look at it and decide. That's the second and third level approach. Rent-A-Center uses a different monitoring service. Aaron's uses a different monitoring service, so we have kind of 3 sets of eyes on both state and federal legislation that comes out. So if that being the process, what happens when it hits? We typically have 30 bills to 40 bills a year during an active legislative session. We're fortunate enough some states are every other year. And things slow down. This year was a pretty busy year, so on average 30 to 40. We had 47 this year that were directly impacting rent to own. A lot of those are technical corrections, little updates, but the things that people don't think are going to hit rent to own are things about auto-dialed phones, spoofing your caller ID. A lot of bed bug and sanitation issues are kind of the hot issues of the day. We see that in a number of states, and as those roll, New Jersey will pass one. Now New York's got one. They all look a lot alike. So we watch those, we deal with those, we circulate those and decide how can we impact this, if at all. There are certain things you're not going to be able to get in front of. You can't stop a bed bug bill without coming off as pro-bed bug, which I don't think anybody wants to wear that hat. It's not a great position to be in. But we do try to impact it, manage it, put it in a way that we can manage it as an industry and put it in, the legislators don't really think about how we run our business, so we try to be as practical as possible about those things. So in that process this year, we think about what did that produce. Most of those we watch, we don't have to do anything with them. We're going to assess, do we have the political capital to do something about it? If we can't stop it, can we shape it? If we can't shape it, can we live with it? This year, on the proactive side and deals we specifically had to entangle with the state of Connecticut, we've got New York, Illinois, our friends, the Illinois rental dealers that are out here. We were just working yesterday. We actually had a chance to play a little bit of offense this year. And we're hopefully going to eliminate the use tax, which will drop the cost of goods by, I think, 6.25%, replace it with a sales tax, help the market out, make it look like other states around, so those that have stores in multiple states can now compete a little more uniformly. New York, we've got, actually also there was a bed bug bill in Illinois. Oddly enough, the sponsor was willing to carve us out of that bill. But again, you can't very well say, bed bugs are bad and somebody needs to do something with it, but not your rent-to-own guys. That doesn't look very good. So we're working on a way to make sure we don't have to tangle with that mess. Texas, we modernized a little bit to look at the kiosk business and the virtual business, make sure that we level the playing field there and protect the industry. New York, for years, has had the same bill coming up. We're watching it this year on font sizes and disclosures. They also want to exclude Saturdays and holidays from your grace days, which is silly because we're open on Saturday and perfectly willing and able to take payments. So that's what we're watching in the state level. We'll continue to do that year in and year out. At the federal level, it's not been a typical session, as you all know. It has been bizarre. It is political theater at its highest order. If you're a civics fan, pay attention to the next 2 years and see what happens. But we do have 2 interesting bills at that level, both of which are aimed at eliminating the CFPB and to be clear. We all know that the CFPB doesn't have jurisdiction over rent-to-own. The Federal Trade Commission does. But that specter of them being out there has always been a little bit of a shadow over us, and they always had unlimited investigative authority. So even though they don't have enforcement authority, they can cost you a lot of money and a lot of time just sniffing around in the hopes that they find something that they can touch. Jeb Henseling, the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, has passed choice, which I can't remember the acronym, but essentially breaks the CFPB up back into its constituent parts. You'll hear the media saying he's going to obliterate consumer protection. I don't think that's really what it does. It says the CFPB was like a super group and took one player from each band and put them all together. He wants to blow them back out to the FTC. The OTS doesn't exist anymore, but HUD, and so on. So we're watching those. It's on a pure partisan vote at this point, but if that were to happen, I'm sure we would breathe a little easier that they're not going to be around, but more importantly, they're distracted and not looking to expand their jurisdiction to come mess with our industry. The last thing I'd say about this is the APRO convention. Let's talk about the APRO legislative conference. I know there are people who would say that in a year that we're not proactively pushing a bill, what's the point? And from the Government Relations Committee and in working with the state associations, I would say that there's real value to going every time the call is made. Remember that every legislative cycle you could have 30 and 45 new legislative members that have never served in the House or Senate. Sometimes you move from House to Senate and so on, but they've never heard of rent-to-own. Most of them don't know it. Most of the bad attacks that we've faced as an industry have come out of ignorance of our transaction. And the other thing you need to think about is that new House member that just got elected, the way they get reelected, if you ever get that postcard, is look at all these great bills I've introduced. So you have somebody who doesn't know your industry, that you've never taken the time to go talk to, and your opponents know that. They're going to take the opportunity to go in there and create that first impression through a quite compelling and false narrative about what you do for a living. So we need to be there. We need to go make friends. We need to get them to understand who we are. Is it going to stop them? Not necessarily, but that way, when that opponent comes in, when that consumer advocate comes in and wants to tell that story, hopefully that legislator is going to say, you know, I talked to so-and-so. I know people in my district. That's not accurate at all, or at least pick up the phone and call. So as your Government Relations Committee, we're going to continue watching it. Legislative sessions are winding down in a lot of states this year, so things will slow down, but I think we're in pretty good shape. I expect that we'll see more bed bug bills, more bedding sanitation bills. At the federal level, we're watching the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. That's your auto dialer, your ability, Ed's written articles on that, your ability to text or use auto dialers to call your customers. That regulation's out there. The FCC has an interpretation that's pretty broad. There was a case briefed in October on that issue before the DC Circuit. We should have an opinion any time, but also with this administration, we may have an FCC that's a little more cooperative. So that's it. I thank you for your time.
Good morning, all. My name is Richard May, Deputy Executive Director of your association. I'm up here. I want to talk about some hot trends that's going on. One of them is internet advertising. It's been a discussion that's been going on for quite some time, and how to put in internet advertising into your marketing scheme. I had an interesting conversation with Joe Fisher and Randy Lewis and their advertising team. We had like an hour conference call in which they're trying to explore the varying methods of how to use internet advertising. It's kind of mind-boggling. There's omni-channel, there's SEM, there's geo-targeting, there's YouTube, Facebook. There's so many different variants out there that it becomes quite difficult, but people know, and as Joe and Randy were saying, we've got to try, because I asked them, how is it going? It's like, well, we're doing a 6-month trial period, so we're just seeing how it is. But I'm just impressed that they're taking the initiative, because they know that's the future. Now, one of the things that every company has to do is page ranking strategy, and that's called SEO. It's called organic SEO, that which you can do in-house, and it's very important. Every single company has to have that. So one of the things that you can do that really helps with your page ranking is what is called cross-linking or linking. And so what you want to do is get that with what they call authority sites. APRO has 2 authority sites. One of them is Shop RTO, and the other is our rtohq.org. Now, with rtohq.org, that is engineered for rent-to-own customers and the rent-to-own keyword. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you link on your website to rtohq.org. Best you can do is on the home page. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Do it on the company information page. But it's very important to have that icon that we have, I'm a proud RTO member, and have that link on your page, because that then goes to an authority page of RTOHQ. Then what you do is you send us your stories, what's going on in your company, whatnot, what's charitable, and we link back to your page, and that creates a cross-link of an authority site to yours, and Google loves that. It's very important, so send us your stories. Link that on there and send us your stories. Another is Shop RTO. Now that is genetically engineered in the back end for SEO for affordable home furnishings. So it is designed for that potential customer, so when they're typing in looking for affordable home furnishings, that rent-to-own comes in as an option. So that's the same thing. It's very important for you to have that Shop RTO link on your page, preferably on your front page, but if not, put it on company information page. Has to be a link. Then you contact me and say, we want to guest write an article or develop something in which we post something on Shop RTO that links back to your site, and that creates a cross-link. Does wonders. Google loves that, and it's very important. And we have these two authority sites for you to use, and I highly encourage, use us and abuse us. That's what we're here for. Now, another thing that is exciting about this year is we did an industry survey. We haven't done one since 2012. And these industry surveys are extremely important because it gauges the economic activity in regards to our industry. So go ahead, Neil. All right, so that's 2012. That's the last time we did a survey. In 2012, we were realizing the whole internet economy, the e-commerce, was becoming very active. So in 2012, we started diversifying our database to get more information in order so we can make a more calculated economic impact so that y'all could see what's going on out there. So that was for North America. As you can see, it's back to 8.6 billion. Okay, next slide. Okay, so we're starting to be able to diversify the information. So this is for the US. So we're going to go at 2014 to 2016 because we now have the data. You can see the uptick. Now, the reason for 14, it was because your stores made less money per month per store. That's why that is lower. Next slide. So what we did, we're able to now break it down, brick and mortar versus e-commerce. This is how it is in brick and mortar from 14, 15, and 16. What's significant about that is in 15 and 16, according to our data, you basically made the same amount of money per store per month. The reason why it's lower, we have less stores. More stores closed, and therefore, that's why a dip. Next slide. Here's our e-commerce. Now, we have 40 e-commerce stores in our database. So I was able to get information from the public companies because when we call the others, they either say, none of your business, which I can understand, or they won't return our call, or they're out of business. So if I'm doing my doctorate or CPA, this wouldn't do it, but it gives us the trend. And so as you can see, the uptick in e-commerce. Next slide. Here's the difference. I made a comparison of the macro trends of what's going on between brick and mortar and e-commerce, because this is the topic of the day. Next slide. Like I said before, economic impact in a macro sense is going to depend on how many stores. As you can see from our database, the store count of brick and mortar keep going down. Next slide. From the public companies of e-commerce, here's what they list. And they have to do it by rules. As you can see, the e-commerce stores are obviously getting involved with the rent-to-own transaction. Okay, next slide. I just wanted to make a comparison on what's going on so you could see kind of in a macro sense. All right, next slide. Now, this is what's interesting. So I'm going to compare the revenue with the number of stores. Look at this 30,000 stores. It does $2.1 billion. So here is underlying the question of the day, the question whether it's at the bar or at the board table. The 30,000 stores doing $2.1 billion, that is quite a diluted sense of how much money per store is making through the rent-to-own transaction. So the question of the day is, what does that represent? Does that represent an experimental phase of these retail outlets entering the rent-to-own transaction? Is it an experimental phase that they're going to fail because they don't understand the complex nature of the rent-to-own customer service and the infrastructure? Or is this the beginning of a tangential phase of what's going on with rent-to-own permeating retail all over the place? And that is, again, that's the question of the day. The only thing I can say is the Chinese proverb is, we shall see. So next slide. Okay, so officially, tomorrow is when we unveil the brand new survey. And we've got the gentleman who did it, Greg Manns. He's going to be there tomorrow going over the survey, and that's going to be at the micro store level sense. So what we just saw was we took the store level and made it a macro trend. So what you're going to do tomorrow, if you want to go see the data that we collected from you, is Greg's going to make his presentation, and a lot of people are going to want to go there and make a comparative analysis how my stores are doing versus out there in the U.S. Then we got Nick Mitchell. I'm sure a lot of you know Nick. He's with North Coast Research, and what he does is he researches our public companies, and he does it for the analysis of, do you want to buy this stock, hold, or sell? What he also does, which is very interesting, he calls up independent rent-to-own dealers to make a comparative analysis. So he has a lot of insight of what the public companies versus independents. He's going to be there tomorrow late morning. So that's going to be an interesting as well. And again, Nick has been studying us for, 6, 7, 8 years. So that's another one that'll be good to go to. When we get back home, I'm going to email every home office a PDF of the survey. Home office of APRO members only. So in the next week or two, look for the brand new survey. That's what we did last year, and take a look at it. It's always great information. And with that, I'm going to ask Mr. Adams to come up, and he was going to talk about our state associations. Thank you.
Good morning. Also, Sandy's here too, so. State associations have always been a very important part of APRO from the beginning. When they were organized to pass state laws that we now have in 47 states, to the states that have yearly trade shows and educational shows, such as Missouri, Ohio, Midwest, Illinois. There's other states, but I can't remember them all. To the states that watch and monitor their state houses, which as was said before, they're Richard has told us there's 40 or 50 alerts that they get yearly from state houses that could negatively impact us. So it's very important that the state associations keep on top of those. And this goes down to even the states to do no more than just answer questions and help solve problems in their states. Right now we are going to give out to the Continuing Excellent Awards. We're going to ask these states if they have associates here or members here, or if you're even from the state, just to please stand up and be recognized. First we have the state of Iowa. Anyone from Iowa? Yay, all right, we have Iowa here. State of Kansas. I know we have Kansas. I saw Jim Smith here. We got Kansas. Louisiana. Well, we still recognize them as a great state that continues excellent. Ohio. I know there's Ohio here. I saw a lot of Ohio here. Ohio, yes. That is a great state. They're all great states. Oklahoma. Pennsylvania. Sandy, stand up. Tennessee. Florida. We have Florida. The great state of Indiana. Yes. Kentucky, another great Commonwealth this time. The Commonwealth of Kentucky. And Missouri, the great show-me state. And speaking of Missouri, our Legislative Achievement Award this year goes to the state of Missouri with their president, John Cleek Jr. Is he here? We have an award for him if he's here to come up. Since he's been president there for like 25 years, I think. So. Thank you. Tonight, at the awards banquet, we will be giving out the State Association of the Year Award at the banquet. So thank you very much.
Yeah, it's me again. This is my favorite part, talking about the Scholarship Foundation. Since almost a decade, we have raised over $500,000 and given to 200 students. And I have to say, it is a powerful impact. I talk to every single one of these students, and I cannot tell you the impact that you have made. It is incredible, and they are so very thankful. And one of the things I wanted to do in thanking each of you is to recognize some groups that have helped. One of them has been the Trib Group. Those guys have been great. And so I wanted to recognize the Trib Group and have Shannon stand up and wave to everyone, and it just don't hurt your ankle. Florida's done a great job. They're participating in the Scholarship Foundation. Sharon, are you here? I can't see. Oh, hi, Sharon. You're not standing up. Bad, Sharon, bad. All right, so you got Kansas. Kansas is now doing their scholarship as well. Is Angela Strong-McCool here? Angela, stand up and give a big wave. I can't see because the lights are on me. We got Missouri. Now they're doing it as well. So John Cleek Jr., stand up again, wave. There you go. Oklahoma is now doing one as well. Chip Guy's not here, but I thought I saw Dale Frederick. Dale, are you here? You gonna stand up for us? Ah, there you are. There you are. Good, good, good. And then Tennessee. Tennessee has been so good, raising such a good amount. Chris, are you here? Where are you, Chris? There you go. Another thing is we have a scholarship winner, Mary Cleek. Mary, where are you? Mary, there you go. So I now have the honor of introducing one of our 2016 scholarship winners. Her name's Liz Litton. She goes to A&M with a 4.0, getting a business degree. She's a junior. Now, again, she's in A&M. I'm a UT Longhorn graduate. If y'all understand, there's a certain rivalry, so I'm doing it anyway. So we have fun. I call her my favorite Aggie. And oh, okay, I got to tell you this. She said that she wants to get a master's in business and go to UT to get that master's. So basically, she's going from the dark side of the force to the light side. So go, Liz, go. So Liz is such a great soul. One of the things she does is she does fish camp, and that's freshmen. So what she does is she brings in the freshmen, welcomes them, and shows them around campus and helps them get indoctrinated to the Aggie and their courses and passing freshman year. Another thing, what she does is she's a fitness instructor, and she volunteers. She does this on a volunteer basis, and she brings in and does fitness classes. And one of the reasons, as she told me, it's not so much as a healthy body, it's a healthy lifestyle. And also a healthy lifestyle creates a healthy mind, healthy grades. Then she is also a volunteer cellist for the A&M Orchestra. And any of y'all have ever played an instrument or played in a band, that is a time commitment. And so she plays in the A&M Orchestra and also went to Ireland for a couple of weeks and played in concerts with the A&M Orchestra at churches all throughout. I just thought that was major cool, to use her terms. So I've talked to her quite a bit. I talked to all the students quite a bit. And one of the things that struck me about Liz is her ability to be such the coach, the leader, the mentor, in such a gentle way that she likes to say, no, I'm a friend. And I thought that was very touching. And again, getting to know her, it is right on spot. So whenever anyone on the A&M campus, or anyone in general, needs any sort of inspiration of a mentor or a friend, Liz is going to lend you her hand and her smile. And with that, I want to introduce 2016 scholarship winner and my favorite Aggie, Liz Litton.
Good morning. So, hi, as you guys already know me. My name is Elizabeth Litton, or Liz. I'm now a junior business major, and I go to Texas A&M. I just finished my finals. I'm very excited. And so I'm also the APRO scholarship recipient for this last year. So growing up, I always knew that there was an expectation that you go to college right after you get out of high school. It's what my older brothers did, what my mom and dad did, and even what my grandparents did. My granddad's an engineering professor at A&M. Like, I knew that's where I have to go. I have to go there right after school. It was expected. But you don't realize until you get to school just how expensive and how crazy everything is. You know, if you just got out of school, if you're putting kids through school right now, you definitely know. The tuition, the books, $300 textbook, you might use it once. The meal plan, the dorms, everything, it really adds up. My parents work really, really hard, and they're totally supporting my brother and I as we go through school at the same time, and that is a huge financial burden and not something that I take lightly. I try to do my part as a student by making them proud, by trying to make perfect grades, being involved, being a leader and a friend, and calling my mom maybe too often, and just letting her know that I'm working hard and I'm trying to make them proud. When I got the call from Richard that I had been offered the scholarship, I was amazed. I almost couldn't believe that somebody read my app and decided it was good enough to offer me a scholarship, and what's more, remember me months later and give me the honor of standing here today and speaking to you all. But in the moment when I got that call, I wasn't thinking about that as much as the fact that I now had an opportunity to help out my parents, to alleviate some of the financial burden, to say, Mom, I'll get my textbooks for the rest of college, or whatever it ends up going towards. Just to be able to contribute to paying for your own education is amazing, and it was something that I was not able to do beforehand. So what a great opportunity for me. So from here, I plan to graduate, as Richard said, looking at UT to get my master's. Don't tell anybody. And get a good job. That's what we all say that we want when we're 20 and we're looking out into the future, and who knows where we're gonna go or what we're gonna do. I'm definitely not the kind of person that says, I need to have this job at this company and I need to have it by this age, and this is my whole life plan, and I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna stick to it. That's what happens when you stick to the plan. It doesn't go right. But I do know what kind of a person I want to be. I want to have the time and the resources to be able to give back to my community. I want to be healthy and happy and well-rounded, to pursue passions, to have a family, and to just be content with what I'm doing. That's the thing that I know. And to be able to give back to your community is such an important civil responsibility that I feel we each share wherever we come from, whenever we're together. Every single person plays a part, whether it's with time or with money, or hopefully both, in whatever way that you can give. It's truly, truly something special that we all have. Investing in your community, it's not just what you can do for others, but it's the feeling that you can get from it. And we can all play a part in that. Whether you're at the top of the world, that's when you have the opportunity to bring others around you up, or when things are low and you might need a community to stand by you. But investing in your community and in the people in it is one of the most important things that I think that we can each do. So as I stand here today, I wanted to especially thank the donors in the audience. Thank you for investing in others, for the hard work that it took you to get to this point right here in your life and to be able to help, and specifically for investing and donating to help us scholarship recipients. So I hope I've given a name and a face to all of the investment and the donations and the time that you guys have put forth, and to let you know that we really do appreciate what you're doing, and it does have an impact. So thank you.
All right, great morning, all. I'll tell you, we've done some great things over the years, and one of the things that probably most proud of for the association is the educational scholarship. So our Society for Tomorrow just began last year. We began to take a different approach to the actual raising of funds for the scholarships. You know, when we thought back to like 2008, and you're thinking about, we had one scholarship. So Shannon had a vision about the scholarship fund and the foundation and how we're going to create it, but we had one in 2008 for $2,000. Last year, we had 59 scholarships we were able to award, 59 because of everyone in here. And it was over $132,000 that we raised. And not only do we have the pledges that there, we had the backup. All the pledges were fulfilled, and that's important because those are the things that make a difference in our people's lives. When we talked about Liz and how she began the process, you know, school is, you know, sometimes we think that that's a must. We have to have that, and we do. But it doesn't come by just osmosis. It just doesn't happen. It takes a lot to get to the next level. And that was what was so important when you see the passion in the kids that have come up here in the past and you see that they win these awards and how the scholarships are done. This isn't just an easy process. I mean, Richard spends many, many hours going through and vetting the scholarship recipients. So I want you to understand that this is something that probably, as you as members, we should be most proud of. So continue to make sure that we do the right thing. And what I want to do today, we've got a couple different levels. So right now we started, you know, the society itself, we started with a lot of different levels. And these are commitments that people have made to say, hey, I want to be recognized as a person on a consistent basis. So just like we have budgets at our homes, we do the same thing. When you think about all the people, and what I want you to realize is when we talk about time, talent, and treasure, time is the number one thing that we can give back. And Liz mentioned, I know when Richard was talking about her ability to give back, one of the things that she said, what Richard talked about, is that when incoming people come in, and this is just like in our businesses, we want to make sure these are noted. One of the things that we're always short of is recipients. We always ask for more. But you want to get people excited because, again, like Liz said, this is a tough process, man. There's a lot of constraints on your dollars. So we're successful, and whether it's at the $500 founder level or $100 founder level, all the way up to the regent level that we have, those are based upon commitments. And we all know that as we give back, the rewards are much better. It's a lot easier to give because of the process makes us feel better too as well. So there's two things in it. One is the students, of course, receive a lot of notoriety, but number two, we as individuals giving back makes a big difference. And I want you to think about the talent portion. When you're there as owners, making sure that not just your friends and family, the people that are in your stores that are there, but make sure you think about those people that want to get to the next level, because the RTO, you know, Richard showed some stats earlier about how the brick and mortar and the e-commerce is changing. We need these new people to come back. So you know as well, in many communities, our people leave. The APRO Scholarship Foundation is one that we want to keep people. When they, you know, if I felt kind of obligated, if I, you know, received a $2,000 or $5,000 scholarship, I would be obligated. I would feel a lot better about the industry. And one of the things that she said also, she talked about giving back in our communities. That's so important. These young people that are coming through, they want to give back. But where does it start? Does it start with us or does it start with them? So that's what the APRO Scholarship Foundation is about. We have many people that have given to this, and right now we're over, I just kind of tallied up the thing, we're over $80,000 of our $150,000 goal. And that's just based upon some people that have given in the past that I've sent some emails out. So I've been touching people. The APRO, the Scholarship Committee has been sending out emails and crafting things and to say, hey, raise your hand when you get ready to do it, because that's important. So what I want to ask everybody here, on your seats right there, we have little cards. I want to make sure that you take those back with you. And as we leave, you need to drop it off down at the bottom from Lori. And whether you can do $500, $5,000, or $15,000, we appreciate anything that you can do. Of course, we have the same people, and out in the hallway, you have the different levels of people. If your name's on there, man, we appreciate you. If your name's not on there yet, it's probably maybe because you missed something. You heard something that was a little bit different. I can tell you that if you have a question about the scholarship or any of the things that we do, it's vetted very well. And to affect 59 people's lives last year is huge. You know, $132,000 is a lot of money. This year we want to try to be at $150,000. A lot to go on. And with that, can I get a show of hands from people that are going to be with us in this APRO Educational Scholarship? Can I get you to stand up? So if you've given or if you haven't given, I want you to stand up to say that you are. Please stand up. We need your support. Look at that. More? Come on, guys. Get up there. $100. $100. Matter of fact, I got a way. What if I was to give you an extra incentive? So where's Casey at? Where's Casey at? Casey Purcell, where are you at here? Where are you at? Uh-oh. Casey, come on up here. We got some guy with some long hair. We can't have that in Orentone, can we? I was talking to Gopal earlier, and Gopal says, man, I'd like to get some of that. I'd like to cut a little bit of that hair off. And you'll see, Casey's been raising this since last year. He came to me, he says, man, you think we could raise some money if I cut my hair off here at the show? I said, hell, we'll do anything for money. I remember me and Jamie used to cut ties off and stuff at the legislative conference, and I think there's been a couple of pair of underwear sold too as well. So I said, what the hell? Let's take Casey's the hair. Nah, there's a nice shot there. How would we like to have that? Well, the only problem with that is that Casey said if I got the clippers out and the number 1 or the number 3, and he came home, he didn't have a place to sit. So what I want to know, I'm going to start off the bidding. So what I want to do is what I'm looking for is not just counting your regular donation. I'm looking for $10,000 to raise, at least $10,000. I'm willing to start off with $1,000 to be able to take a cut or a clip at Casey's hair. So how many people out there in the audience do I have for 500? How about $1,000? How many people will give me? Where's GoPro? $1,000 to help cut this man's hair. There we go. We got one. How many more we got? We got anybody else? Two? Anybody? Come on. Where's GoPro? There's two. Cynthia's coming up. Anybody else? Come on, man. We need some more. We got three? Three? David's up there. Where's GoPro at? Come on, man. $5,000. He said he cut it for $5,000. So we got $4,000. I need one more person. One more person for $1,000. Can I get another person for $1,000? There you go. He'll put another 1,000. There we go in the back. I can't see. Is that Chris? All right, another thought. Come on up. Everybody who's given money, come on up right now. Anybody that's given commitment of $1,000, come on up. We got to get this thing done. Come on, hurry up. I see 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. Anybody else? There's another one. David's coming up, 7,000. So we got 3 regent level people up here too. We got David Kramer, he's a regent level, as well as Cynthia and Shannon and myself. So we're all going to get, oh my God. We got to get the picture on here. Who's got the clippers? We got to have the clippers. Oh, okay, now I see. I can see the back. All right, who's going to start off? David? Yep. Since you challenged for an extra $1,000, we all get a little hack. So we each get a little, we're going to put it in here. We're going to take a little bit off at a time. A little bit? We'll just take a while. There you go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. There's $1,000 worth of cut. There's $1,000. All right, Cynthia, come on, man. You know, he's already got an appointment with the barber right after this. He already told me who it was going to do. All right, here we go. These are for the kids, so that you can always tell. Oh, man, that's a chop. We got more than 3 in that. There we go. Now we got rid of that man bun. We got rid of that man bun. Come on, Ty, get in there. We got rid of some of that man bun. You want that over the ears? Yeah. How you like it? Watch the ear. A little shorter. You need some longer straight. There you go. That looks nice. I think that might even get to the locks a little. All right, who's next? I'm glad it's been more. All right. Hold on, one more. Come on. This is up here. Oh, look at this. You got to get it even, man. I like this one. Check it through. So you can see where the hell it's going. What's the ear? Ow! All right. Oh, man, that's a nice match. That's a nice match. You gonna take this home for the kids? No poking in the eyes. No poking in the eyes. Oh, you can just get it chunked right out of the middle. All right. So when I was so some of you guys, I get the last one here. Okay, you hold the thing. So when I was a kid, so I'll share this story. When I was a kid, my dad used to put me on a case of beer. You know how you would stick the beer case right there and you'd sit on there, and he'd grab the bowl and he'd just take the clippers and go around. So we're going to finish up the cut with the bowl cut. I'm going to try to trim you up nice because, you know, my dad was a barber in the old days. So he was good. I'm the man. I'm going to trim him up. His wife will love it. There you go, man. $6,000. There we go. You got a couple lucky stands, baby.
Good job, brother. There's your hair.
There's your hair. Here, take that with you, man. You want the scissors to clean up? You take that back to the kids. All right. You know, that's what it's about. You know, a little bit about having fun and being able to do things. You know, when you get people to step up like this, and he's been thinking about this for a year, so he came to me last year and he said, what do you think about that? I don't know, Casey, but it'll be fun. You know, education's not just about all the things that we have to do every day and learn. It is about having fun. And I can tell you that, you know, doing things that are not based upon fun-type items, they get boring. You know, so Casey's been thinking about it for a year. He figured it out. He's a great member of our association. He's done a great job for us. And he's the president of the Illinois Rental Dealers, had a lot of stuff going on there. So we appreciate him, and thanks so much for coming up. So, again, hey, make sure you drop off your cards. We're looking for $150,000 this year. You know, each one of those $2,000 donations can help us get to the next level and fund a student that costs over $10,000 for a yearly thing. So we appreciate you, love you. Keep doing what you're doing. You'll keep getting what you're getting. Thanks.
Good morning. Casey, thank you. Where are you? Are you going to do it next year too? Hopefully we can raise more next year, Casey. My name is Gopal Reddy. I'm the first vice president for this year. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you as your first vice president. The duty of the first vice president is to conduct the elections for the APRO Board of Directors. Board members serve a 2-year term. There are 16 members. It is on rotation basis. 8 members, there are up for election 8 members this year. We have 2 associate members from our vendor advisory committee, so the total of 18, and 1 past president. Based on the Articles 10, Section 1, I don't know what that is, of your nominating committee, wishes to nominate the following members for the election. Dennis Adams. Next, Larry Carrico. Please stand up as the names come up. Larry. Sandy Fry. Louis Garcia. David Harrison. Robbie Camerson. Robbie, where are you? Myself, Gopal Reddy. Charles Smith-Gall. Do I have a second for these nominations, please? Thank you. I would like to call any nominations. If there are any nominations from the floor, I would like to call for nominations from the floor.
I'd like to make a motion to close the nominations from the floor.
Any second? Thank you. Without having any names from the floor, I would like to, there are 8 candidates. I would like to elect all these 8 candidates by acclamation. May I have your acclamation vote, please? Aye. Aye. Thank you. So all these members are elected for the board for another 2-year term. Thank you. Jonathan, where are you? You don't have to go and count the votes, you know. Since there are no elections, there are no ballots. Thank you. And the next board meeting is at 5 o'clock to elect the president. So all the elected board members, please come to the board meeting at 5 o'clock. Thank you.
Casey, that was amazing. That was pretty cool. That was fun to watch. Liz, I need your phone number because my son, who's been to school 6 or 7 years, probably 6 or 7 colleges right now, needs to talk to you. But he wouldn't. I don't think he'd qualify for this fund. So he takes after his dad. Anyhow, I want to invite everyone to the awards banquet tonight. I think we're going to have a great time. We're going to honor more people for their services to our industry, and I think that's what it's all about. I think everyone in this room, I think we all truly like to serve, and we serve our customers, we serve our people, and I think true leaders are definitely more service-minded than kind of selfish anyhow. So look forward to that. I want to remind everyone of the Education Day tomorrow. It starts off with Hug Your Haters from Jay Bear. I don't know if Jay's here, but that's gonna kick it off, and then we're gonna the last one's gonna be Leading Through Uncertainty with Matthew Dowd. So looking forward to a great Education Day. I hope everyone will take advantage of those education seminars. I've been to quite a few of them over the last few years, and they're truly amazing. And you're truly missing out if you don't walk into those education breakouts. I would like, before I kind of, any former military members in the audience, please stand up. I want to thank you guys and gals for your service, and as part of that, APRO is supporting our military and first responders, and we're stuffing some care packages across from the APRO registration desk. So please stop by, give them some time, and help them stuff those help them stuff those envelopes and everything. We're going to have a ribbon cutting and champagne welcome happening downstairs today. Right at the trade show in just a few minutes. There will be lunch served in the exhibit hall at 11:30. Lots of great deals for everybody. I kind of, going back, and I talked about, how great job Lynn did in the Trib group and in our trade show, but, I kind of forgot, and I apologize, but I don't think anyone would be in this room without our vendors. And I don't think we talk about this in our company all the time, how important product is, and especially in today's environment, how important new product is to our businesses. So, all the vendors out there, without your products, we serve no customers. And so we got to have that. So I want to thank all the vendors out there. Really, you guys do a truly amazing job, and I saw some of those prices last night, and some great prices. So. Want to thank our sponsors tonight. $1 Million Rustic is sponsoring our champagne today, and the exhibit hall lunch is sponsored by LG and Serta Simmons. So thank everyone for, you guys please thank those vendors. So thank you guys. This concludes our initial reception here. So let's all have fun and let's go to the trade show. Thank you very much.